Let's talk about the superintendent situation. As I understand it, we have a superintendent who is stepping down and we're in the search process.
We are in the
So
search
why don't you fill
process.
us in a little bit about what the situation is and what the search process has been like so.
So before we listen to Lee spin it the way Lee wants to spin it, let's talk about the superintendent resignation process so far, guys. Okay. So our superintendent let us know that he was going to resign probably almost 2 months ago now. And Lee proceeded to rush out an ad. He asked the full board, hey, I'm going to just send one like we have in the past. Is that fine? I wasn't on the board in the past, so I asked for a copy of it so I could see before I could answer. I needed to be informed, right, before I could answer whether or not that was fine. And also, don't you know, like this is like meeting privately in an email. This isn't in public, but whatever. So he sends that out. I asked for copies. I get a link back that is the ad for this year posted. That's what I got a response. That's the response. There's nothing. It was just bam, here you go. So I replied and said, thank you, but I still would like to see what we've done in years past. And I got one copy and was told that the rest was going to be at the meeting. We would be talking about it at the meeting, but very rude, very cold, very unprofessional of a chair, especially to a new member on the board. So I just want to put that out there. Fast forward to the meeting, we go to the meeting. He says that everybody just approved. No, I did not approve. Let's be clear. I didn't approve anything. I requested to see more information. So there was that. Then he proceeded to say he was appointing a select personnel search committee. He hand selected 4 people, himself included, to be in the search committee for the superintendent search. I questioned that. He also said I had spent much time with the attorney figuring out how to work this. Also, this is a FOIA. You can't FOIA anything. There's like, this is private. So I questioned all of that and said I was going to look into it. I didn't feel you could just appoint a committee and not have a discussion, not have a vote, and you're not FOIA-able because, guys, let's be real. I've been able to FOIA some stuff and it's not turning out to be face value for what they're telling us. So he made that very clear. My alarms were going off. So I looked into it, sent an email the next day. You can't just appoint a committee. It has to be a discussion, has to be a vote. So they called a special meeting. They call a special meeting for a couple of days. The special meeting is going to come up, but they advertised that it was a special meeting with other boards included with our board, which wasn't accurate. So I pointed that out. They canceled that meeting and had to start the notice over for a new special meeting. We got on the special meeting, tried to have a discussion, but Lee just tried to push through his personnel search committee that he wanted. It was clear that he already had worked with everybody to have enough people that were going to be in agreement on it. And he pushed through his personnel search committee. These people that he picked, he said he picked because you have some women, you have some men, you have some from both parties. What you don't see on that committee are the ones that have shown up the most, the ones that have children in the school where the superintendent will be working, and who also happen to be male, female, and also both of 2 different parties. I didn't care which one of us got on, but I felt very strongly that one of us should be on it, and he did not care. There was no amount of discussion. This was already solidly picked prior to that, and the special meeting was for a show just because, I called out the procedure here. So let's hear how we're handling it. Oh, and fast forward to 3 weeks later, I didn't have minutes from the special meeting, so I asked for those. Your minutes are supposed to be out within 7 days, so I had to call that out. The minutes came out. They were called emergency meeting minutes. It wasn't an emergency meeting, guys. It was a special meeting. So I asked for that to be corrected. And when we got our packet for our Board of Ed meeting, which was for last week, I asked, why is there nothing on here for any kind of update on the search committee and how it's going? Like nothing, no executive session, even if they have stuff they didn't want to talk in public. There was nothing about it and nothing came up in the meeting about the search committee. And on the special meeting, they said they have somebody that could be an interim superintendent, and they didn't share that information, and it's just been crickets since. So kind of questionable there, guys.
Well, I can't talk much about the search process, but I can certainly talk about the current situation. And Mike is wonderful. We hate to see him retire, but the way that we have hired in Pomfret, and this has worked very well for us, is that under Connecticut statutes, a superintendent who is retired from another much larger district can work part-time up to a certain number of days and still collect their pension. It means that we've been able to get superintendents much stronger, much more experienced than we would normally be able to get for a district our size. It's not really a part-time job, but it's a part-time job for somebody like Mike, who's been, superintendent of a district that had 15 buildings and had thousands more kids than we did. But the nature of the job also means that anyone we hire has already retired once, and they're sort of on the clock. And Mike has been absolutely amazing, and I'm thrilled that we were able to get 4 years of his leadership. And before that, Steve was wonderful, and I'm sure whoever we hire will be equally strong. But it does mean that we, just tying it to the budget thing, it means that, among other things, we're hiring a part-time superintendent for on the order of 70,000 rather than a full-time superintendent for close to 300,000. So there's a huge budget impact doing it the way we do.
When is Mike effectively stepping down? Is it
June
particularly
30th,
June
end of
30th?
the year.
So that's sort of the timeline. Now, do you think that you're going to end up with an interim superintendent, or are you looking to try
Good
and
question.
hire somebody by
I
that
think
deadline?
I think we'll have someone. I think there will be someone who'll be able to interact there. I can't talk about the search, but
Would you be able to confirm if there's a search firm you're working with, or
I
okay.
can't talk about the search.
They don't have a search firm.
I'm very confident that it's going to resolve well given where we are, but I can't talk about any specifics.
Fully understand and respect that. There are some other things too that we can talk about going on in the town of Pomfret.